Hey guys, so I did my diagnosis on narcolepsy. So narcolepsy, just for a little bit of background, is a disorder that involves recurrent periods of lapsing into sleep throughout the day. Typically, some people do it more than others, but that is the kind of the essence of the diagnosis. There's also 3 different criteria in addition to that one of lapsing into sleep, which would be cataplexy, which is just sudden loss of muscle tone. So it could be just, especially this also happens typically after a strong emotion. So typically it might be laughter. So say a person hysterically laughs, they may just collapse, just lose all the muscle tone in their body and collapse. Their eyelids might even shut, but they're fully conscious still. So that's one, something that some people with narcolepsy experience. And then there are those that have hypocretin, I think that's how you pronounce it, deficiency. And lastly, those that have the REM sleep latency period of about 15 minutes. So those are like the general broad criteria for narcolepsy. So I just wanted to share that so my presentation made a little bit more sense. So whenever I got my diagnosis for this, I was kind of shocked, kind of surprised, because I didn't realize that narcolepsy was a psychological disorder. I just kind of assumed that it was more medically based, which it is, but I just assumed that it wouldn't be in the DSM. So I was kind of interested to see where the research would take me. So I was kind of interested just to research that and to figure out what exactly it is, what type of people experience this, what their different symptoms are, because they do range from person to person in, intensity and frequency. And so, yeah, so I was really interested to find out about that. So in order to find out more about narcolepsy, I decided to look up videos. I just went on YouTube, I Googled some videos, and actually found some that a girl made who has narcolepsy. The first one that she ever made was one she had captured by accident, actually, and she was just doing a presentation for school, a video presentation, and it was several minutes of time lapsing of her going in and out of consciousness because she suffers from the cataplexy criteria. And so it was interesting to see just how that works. Yeah, so I watched her videos, a couple of her videos. So it was really interesting to see it in action. I looked up different articles, looked at different symptoms. There's a lot of advocates for narcolepsy that I just didn't realize there was a lot of people out there that are, raising awareness about it, because it is such a struggle for those who do have it. Yeah, so I just watched videos. I also watched science videos about it just to understand the brain mechanisms and how our brains work, and in relation to that, and how narcolepsy manifests in our brains, or in their brains, sorry. Yeah, so in order to come up with my presentation and what exactly I wanted to do for it, I decided to just go and Google and start looking at pictures, because I wanted to, my idea was to do concept photography. So it's more, I guess, abstract and kind of strange, but I just enjoy photography and wanted to mix that in somehow. So I just got on Google and started looking at images of paintings and sketches and all this stuff, just to get a concept of how I wanted to depict narcolepsy in photography. So I found a pretty cool picture, or painting really, of it was just mostly lines, very basic lines of supposed to be a face, and half the face was dark and half the face was just white, and so depicting night and day. And I kind of liked that, just to show how narcolepsy, does affect individuals, and that they do sleep random times, and how falling asleep randomly throughout the day affects their nighttime schedule of sleeping as well. So I wanted just to show that somehow in the picture. or pictures that I was wanting to do. And so I really took that idea and just kind of ran with it. So the idea behind the project that I ended up doing was kind of like a time lapse. I got an image of, I used my sister as my model and just used an image of her, and I painted half of her face blue just to represent, you know, sleeping. It's nighttime, it's blue. But so yeah, I painted half of her face and took pictures of her different angles, and just to kind of show that contrast. And then I used a time lapse of, I got into Photoshop and kind of played around in Photoshop for a bit and got a galaxy just to kind of, or night sky, however you want to look at it, and to represent the REM state or the sleep state, dream state, just that. Anyway, yeah. And then yeah, so the time lapse would be the individual fading into that REM sleep and then back out of it. And typically the videos, at least that I was watching, was this girl was slipping into about 3-minute periods, even shorter oftentimes, of sleep. And so it was a pretty quick, it's a very, very short clip, but just showing the fade in, the fade out, and the noise with it just accompanies, it would be, you know, just regular surrounding noises, whether it's traffic or crowds or whatever. It's the fade in of that, and then different music, string of music to just represent getting into that, you know, that headspace to being in the dream state, and then fading back in. And then I just tacked on 2 pictures at the end to that I had done with her, that I to the pictures that I had taken during our little photo shoot. Yeah, so that was, it was kind of abstract and probably kind of strange, so bear with me on that, but it was just kind of a fun little project that I enjoyed doing. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy it.